Hey, Game and Crafter members, this is Game and Crafter, obviously. This is your members-only version ad-free video for the Ruby Life pools. This one actually did not do super hot on my channel for whatever reason. I think it was a fun exploration. It was very simple, very easy to do, and I think it's just really cool whenever you're able to break out of an instance and travel the entire continent of an expansion. I think it's really cool. Anyway, here's the video. Hope you guys enjoy. The Ruby Life pools are probably the first dungeon that you will enter in the Dragonflight expansion. It's honestly a beautiful area by itself, and I know it's just an in-game area, but it is still absolutely gorgeous. I ran the instance for the first time on my Demon Hunter at level 71, but my friend Senpai the Explorer had mentioned that it has an out-of-bounds area that is by far worth exploring. Let's see how true that is. This is my experience with uncrafting the Ruby Life pools, where we reveal an entire continent within the out-of-bounds area of the dungeon. So here we are. I'm in queue for the Ruby Life Falls. This is the first time I've ever done Ruby Life pools. Is that it? It's the first time I've ever done this instance or dungeon, and so I'm kind of excited. We're just waiting on one DPS, of course. That's typically how it goes, right? Yeah, of course. Of course that happens. All right, well, anyway, let's jump to where we start the instance. Okay, so this is my first time through here, and it's not too bad of an instance. It's kind of cool. It's got a lot of interesting stuff in it. Yeah, we can... I'm not going to show this part, obviously. That's not what my channel's about. If you want to look up guides for this kind of stuff, I'm sure there are plenty of channels out there. But I just wanted to show off that, you know, it's my first time in the Ruby Life pools, so it's kind of interesting. Kind of cool. But you guys don't want to see that. Let's move on. Alright, so the first thing you have to do is get behind this instance portal. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just do that, and I'm going to let you guys figure out how to do that on your own. I don't want to be the one to show this off and it blow up, get, you know, 500,000 views. That's not going to happen. But, you know, let's say a Blizzard gets 5,000 views and then one Blizzard employee sees it, because apparently they do that. I don't know if that's true. But anyway, they see that and then they patch it and no longer can we do this glitch. I don't want to be the one to do that. So it's not super difficult, and if you want to find a way to contact me, I will gladly tell you how to do it. So thank you for understanding, and yeah, all you got to do is get past this instance and then we can continue on. First, I did show that if you use one of these eyes, so if you're a warlock or if you have this toy here, the Darkmoon Gazer, you can literally just kind of travel out and explore, and you can see what we're going to get into here. There's an empty Dragon Isles, a Dragon Isles that you can fully explore within the Ruby Life Falls, or Ruby Life pools. I cannot, my goodness. So yeah, this is just a little preview. You can literally just fly around with this eye, and there's nothing blocking you, nothing stopping you. It's really interesting. Okay, one hint I'll give about getting out of bounds, it definitely involves logging out of the game at a certain time. I will say that. Take that as you will. We are now out of bounds in the Ruby Life pools, and we have an entire continent to explore. One interesting thing about this, just like in the Court of Stars, you have a completely full map of the Dragon Isles. It's mapped to your location, so as you walk, you'll be in that location in the area. Now, you can't explore anything, you can't like update your map or anything, but you are actually walking around on the Dragon Isles, and your mini-map corresponds to it, and even any quest that you're on will also be located on here. Yeah, so in every place you go to will also be on the mini-map. So here we go through the Flash Frost area. I'm not exactly sure what the name is, but it's really cool. So there's no enemies, obviously, there's no NPCs whatsoever, but there's still all of the effects of the glittery, sparkly stuff. I just like look around. There's really not a whole lot else to this. I didn't, you know, find anything super crazy, but it is very amazing getting to explore the Dragon Isles. I keep this exploration just to the first zone of the Waking... Gosh, what is it called? The Waking Shores? Yeah, I keep it just to that zone because that's the only zone I've really been able to explore so far. I'm only level like 64. I'm very far behind in Dragonflight. I'm recording this on the 29th of December, and I'm so far behind because, you know, there's been so many things going on in my life, but this is just gorgeous being able to explore this area with no NPCs. I absolutely love it. So I hope you guys haven't missed me too much. This has been a crazy period of my life. A quarter of a year my daughter was in the hospital. So we're back on track, and now we're back in World of Warcraft exploring these beautiful, gorgeous areas that the Blizzard team has developed. For all of the issues in World of Warcraft, this is just gorgeous. So I'm really enjoying the expansion, and I hope you guys are too. So there's not much else I want to say. I will just be showing off the Waking Shores, and I'll be interjecting some commentary here and there. So let's watch. One thing I do want to point out here is that this dragon kind of freaked me out when I was first exploring. I didn't notice. I didn't notice that he was there. Like, you could clearly see him there, but I just wasn't paying attention. And all of a sudden he started moving. It freaked me out. I'm like, what is going on? Is it a Blizzard employee? I don't know. What's going on? So I thought that was pretty cool. What a freaking fantastic view this is. It's incredibly beautiful. This is my first time seeing this view and really paying attention. And another thing you notice, the dragon at the end of the instance, the last boss of this instance, Kyrieg or something, is actually over there, and you can even still target it. But obviously there's nothing you could do about it. You could just target it, and that's really it. And here is something very interesting. Though the entire Dragon Shores or Dragon Isles are here, it does seem that there are some cracks in the foundation, because this isn't here in the full game, or this isn't here in the non-instance version of the Dragon Isles, but we can see all the way through the isles themselves, and it's not exactly supposed to be like that. So that's a thing, and I thought that was really interesting, and I thought I'd show that off real quick. Okay, so right here I noticed that there's quite a bit of water, and I don't know if this water is deep enough to fish in, but you guys know how I am. If I see water in an out-of-bounds instance, I'm going to try to fish in it. And you can see here it says you're cast it and land in fishable water. I didn't think maybe it was deep enough, so I'll try to fish later on. But yeah, so that's really it for that. Oh, and also I tried to use my renewed proto trait, because I can mount out here, which is great, but you can't use your dragon flying. And yeah, I was really hoping you could, even though it's like, you know, not grayed out anymore. It was grayed out, but now it's not, and you still can't click it, unfortunately. Also, I see magma here, which there's a lot of magma in this zone, so, you know, pretty obvious. But I did notice that you don't take any damage when you stand in it. You take no damage whatsoever. So I thought that was very interesting. As for the Flayscale camp, I just kind of explore it. There's nothing really else to it. Yeah, there's really not a whole lot to explore here. There's some floating orbs, and you can go into the buildings and stuff, but unlike most areas in World of Warcraft, the buildings don't really change the music very much, so it's not super important that you do it. Again, I walk through some lava, and nothing happens, which is so strange. Because usually, even in out-of-bounds instances, there is damage mapping to lava. Okay, so here's an example. Also, you know, typically in out-of-bounds instances, caverns in deeper parts of the level are typically non-existent. So here they actually are. So I jumped down here to see if I would like glitch out or anything. Nothing happens. Again, I don't take damage from lava, so I just walk right back up. No big deal. Pretty cool. And man, this is just absolutely gorgeous. Like, I can't get past how beautiful this expansion is. And I've only been through one zone so far, so I don't even know what's going on in the other zones. I I do like this camp up here with a little telescope, and you know, I don't even know if I've been to this part of the map yet, but it's kind of neat seeing it, you know, the camp by itself. And I decided to float. I decided to glide down to this river over here because I want to try that fishing thing again, because I didn't know if that water was deep enough. Now, spoiler alert, it's not as exciting as I would have hoped for. But hey, at least I have fishing, right? Yeah, no fishable water here, even though there's clearly fish swimming in the water. Good job, Blizzard. Here's where I noticed something even more interesting than fishless, fishy water. There's no breath meter at all. Now, I didn't test this completely. I didn't sit there for over a minute. But I did notice that whenever you go into water, there's no breath meter. So that is bizarre. From here, I just kind of move on and I head up to Skullcracker Keep, and there's really not a whole lot. So I will just kind of show that part, but you can skip ahead, and you know, if you already know what it looks like, or you've already done this glitch yourself, or if you just don't really care to see the scenery without NPCs, it is the exact same, just there's no NPCs. And I'll let you know if there's anything really interesting in it. And of course, before we hit Skullcracker Keep, we hit the Lifebinder's Conservatum or something like that. I think that's the name of it. And there's a lot of lava here, so I decided to just go for it and see if you could swim in the lava. Now, unfortunately, a lot of the lava is very shallow, so can't really test that too much. But since we can travel through the lava, there's no point in not going to the very edge of the map and seeing what it looks like. Well, I do get a little nervous though, but yeah, so the islands are surrounded by ocean, which I knew that. However, I do want to explore those oceans, so we'll get to that later. And there you see I can swim in the lava, and again, no damage. Okay, here's something weird. So again, I've talked about this many times, but caves and out of bounds areas are typically a bad idea. There are many exceptions to this, but you know, back in regular old Azeroth, caves are a bad idea in instances that are in out of bounds areas. However, this cavern is completely here. This cavern is 100% fine. You can explore the whole thing, and you won't have any issue. Okay, and we're finally at Skullcracker Keep, and I think it's just interesting how much more detail I pay attention to whenever I'm in an out of bounds area with no NPCs. I pay attention to a lot more things, like that little hill I just walked up. Like I would never have noticed that without being in an out of bounds area like this, or noticing the skulls hanging from the rocks and stuff. I never would have noticed that, and I would not probably have noticed how gorgeous the scenery is here. It's incredible. I mean, this is honestly a beautiful area. And whenever I'm doing it, I'm just like, I'm doing the quest and I'm trying to move on and trying to level up, which I'm paying attention, but more than I have in the last two expansions, BFA and Shadowlands. I just leveled to get to level 60 or whatever the level cap was. And in this one, I'm like, man, I'm looking around all the detail and looking around at everything, but I still don't pay as much attention as to whenever I'm in an out-of-bounds area like this. Oh, I also tested here if you could swim and breathe in lava, and apparently, yes, you are invincible in this out-of-bounds area, so that's pretty cool. Okay, so at this point, I don't really have too much else to look at. I've pretty much seen that everything does look the same. However, I do want to make it over to, I think it's the Obsidian area where Neltharius is and all that. I do want to check that out because it's a really cool area. And I just want to again see if the caverns are glitched out or if you could traverse all the caverns in that area. Alright, so I'm back at the Flayscale camp, which I was at earlier. And I just I'm walking through it, really no big deal. I'm trying to get to the Obsidian area, so I'm not looking for anything special. But as I make my way across it, I'm taking in all the scenery, very interesting, very cool. And I noticed this flaming sword is just kind of floating in the air. Now that, that's not like crazy amazing, but it is kind of strange that it's just like literally floating there. So I thought this was a pretty cool discovery, to say the least. Not super impressive. Then I walk in this building and all the details are here, with smoke even coming off the food, which is amazing. So I just took a little detour here off the beaten path and wanted to take a look at this little area. I don't know if this is part of a quest. I'm not sure if I'm there yet on my main character. But like, this is a really cool spot. Like, this is just a lava seam here, and you can kind of swim in it, sort of swim in it. And then you can explore this little cave here, which I'm sure there are like either are NPCs in here or like a rare mob or something. But I think this is one of the cooler areas in this Out of Bounds area because it's yours. It's your cavern if you want it. Very good for RPing and all that stuff if you're into that. Okay, we are finally at the Burning Ascent, and it is absolutely gorgeous. Coming up in this, I don't remember the exact name, I'll see it in just a minute, but coming up in this basically castle, the Black Dragonflight, Obsidian Citadel, that's what it is. Coming up on that is just absolutely gorgeous. This place is massive, and it is impressive. It's an impressive scale, no pun intended, and it's just an impressive place altogether. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. So there's a lot to explore here, but the main thing I want to do is stuff that I can't do in the actual game. I want to swim in these lava pools because I can, right? I don't have any breath and I don't take damage from the lava, so I might as well swim in the lava pools. And so that's what I do. There's nothing super interesting in them, but it is kind of cool that you can kind of explore this whole little tiny area, and you can even go underneath some of the metal parts. So nothing too crazy, nothing too special, but definitely very interesting. And also, there's this like magma texture. However, there are chunks of land like this that just have the regular ground texture, which like doesn't make any sense because there's like dead plants on it. Which clearly there would be no dead plants if it was under lava. So I decided to go all the way up to the very top of the Citadel just to take kind of a quick look around and get a really great view of the Citadel itself. I mean, my goodness, this place is quite massive. Now I think this is where Neltharius is, and I could be mistaken, but I think that's the instance intro, and I don't think you can get past that door. I tried for like a good 30 minutes, couldn't do it. So I'm not even going to include that in the video because there's no point to. Okay, so now I go down this staircase here and I go farther into the Citadel. I think they call this the throne room or something. It's kind of strange, but it does have a lot of neat stuff in it. So yeah, this is all fully textured and fully there. Like all the details here. Yeah, it says Obsidian Throne, but I don't know if that's accurate. That could be wrong. But anyway, yeah, so all the details here, you can explore the whole entire thing that you can explore in the actual world. And it's just a pretty cool little area. There's nothing super exciting about it, but there is a lot of gold, so I'm apparently rich now because there's no one here to stop me from taking it. So I am filthy, filthy, filthy rich. that's really all to explore in this area. There's not much else to it. Okay, so I've explored pretty much all that I want to. I've explored the whole entire zone of the Burning Ascent. Goodness, I cannot remember what the name of this place is. The Waking Shores. I've explored all I want to of the Waking Shores. There's really nothing else is something that I haven't seen already or that I think is game breaking. Now, I do know that there's other areas that are kind of broken in this place, in this Out of Bounds area, but I don't know exactly where they are, and I'll have to look for them. However, I don't have a whole lot of time to spend exploring the entire Dragon Isles. So I will eventually get to that, but if you guys have a particular zone you want me to explore, please let me know and I will explore that. As for now, we are going to go deep sea diving. And we're going to go into the depths of the ocean where we'll have tons to explore. You can look that there's like trees and stuff down there. It's going to be really interesting. Very excited, except kind of forgot that water typically is broken in out of bounds areas. So that's the end of my first exploration. So yeah, I mean, really cool area, but that is a very unfortunate way to end it. I even tried to redeem it just once. I tried to log back in, and clearly it's not going to work. Thank you again for joining me on my first Out of Bounds experience in the Dragonflight expansion. Again, if you want to see any specific area in this Out of Bounds continent, let me know and you will see a video about it potentially. Otherwise, liking the video greatly helps on the channel, and if you want to see more uncrafting, stay tuned for more. Thank you all for watching.